I also felt very content, but not quite fulfilled. And I didn't know why, right? Like I could be very productive. I had all of these skills. I had already accomplished a lot in my life, but like something was missing and I didn't know what it was. When I started creating content, I realized like what was missing for me that was very emotionally fulfilling was community, like literally connecting with other people and having an impact on their lives, supporting other people, and then having that reciprocated as well. People helping me, people talking to me. And that's the part that, I don't know, it's hard to imagine AI replicating that, like that sense of community that is very, very deeply fulfilling.
The age of intelligent machines is here, but it's raising one urgent question. Who gets left behind and how do we make sure it isn't us? I'm Cien, and in The Machine and Us, we'll explore what it means to stay human in a world being rewritten by intelligent systems. Today's guest is Sabrina Ramonov. She is a powerhouse in AI education and innovation, and she's the founder of Lotato.com, a platform empowering creators and solopreneurs to scale their content with AI. Sabrina has rapidly built an online presence, growing her audience from 0 to over 500K in just 6 months. That's crazy. All without a team or budget. She's also the founder of Qurious, an AI startup acquired by Pega Systems. And now she's on a mission to teach 1 million people how to harness AI for their lives and businesses. And I'm one of them. Sabrina's journey has taken her from founding startups to becoming one of the most dynamic voices in AI education. Sabrina, this is so cool to have you on here. You have no idea how excited I'm to have you as my first guest.
Oh, awesome. That's so cool. Since you were my first guest and now I'm yours. Oh man, super excited to be here. That was an amazing introduction. So thank you so much.
Having this platform and channel and being able to, reach people.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing and it's what keeps me motivated. Like literally right before I hopped on this, I saw a TikTok comment that was basically like, you have motivated me to start my own business and you motivate me, inspire me in more ways than you can know. And I replied, oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. That made my day. Literally. And being able to meet people from all walks of life. Because before creating content, I was very much in a tech bubble, right? I raised Silicon Valley venture capital, had a tech startup that was Qurious, AI startup. I went to Berkeley, computer science. I was in the Bay Area in the tech bubble for many, many years. And it's just amazing to meet so many people outside of that traditional tech bubble, learning AI, playing with AI, seeing what they can do with AI, like seeing their like literal faces light up, their eyes light up when they realize, oh my gosh, I can be creative in ways I didn't know I could be, or like I shut off parts of myself. And now with AI, I'm like re-exploring different things that I'm excited about and that I could potentially build careers off of, brand new careers. And so it's just a really exciting time to be in the space. And I feel very fortunate and grateful to be able to impact so many people and reach so many people.
No, even for people like me, like my developers consider me quite a technical product manager, but you've influenced me to like create more content and kind of focus on that as well. So I think you've influenced both the non-technical and the technical cohort. So you've set a big ambition to teach AI to 1 million people and you're not far off. Is this simply about sharing knowledge for you, or do you see it as a way to change how people see their own potential in a world increasingly shaped by intelligent systems?
And so one of the main reasons I started it is because I noticed a really big gap between kind of the tech bubble I'm in and the rest of the world. And I noticed that because I literally physically moved outside the Bay Area. So I moved to Florida for a little bit. I have a lot of family there. And then my husband and I, we permanently moved to Salt Lake City, which it's still a city, but people don't talk about AI here. They don't really have that kind of hands-on experience with it. If you go to a coffee shop, rarely will you hear somebody talking about AI. And when they do, it's oftentimes with like fear and anxiety. That's really what motivated me to try to create beginner level educational content to spread awareness about what AI is, what it can do, what it can't do, and encourage more people to just play with it, experiment with it, and get hands-on experience with it so that they can form more educated opinions and be involved in the larger discourse around AI ethics, AI governance. What should the future of AI look like? It's hard to participate in conversations like that when you are coming from a place of fear, not having had hands-on experience with AI technologies yet.
So when the mobile app bubble came out, or even like let's say the internet bubble, there was an obvious gap, and there were a lot of not just influencers, but actual kind of like educational systems that pushed for educating people to learn how to code or learn how to build social media accounts. But I don't think that there was like a fear of such, or like a like a rush to educate everyone. What do you think is the difference?
I think in this case, AI is displacing jobs. For me to like beat around the bush with that, I feel would not be quite transparent. When technology is that revolutionary, it does disrupt industries in the near term, and that often involves job loss until you like kind of stabilize, and then there's a new set of jobs emerging. And you can kind of imagine what those might be. Like, you still need a lot of human involvement when you're architecting these agentic systems, for example, that are like quite complex. You want human oversight almost at every step of the process. You want a pipeline in place to continuously improve, the quality of your AI, guardrails in place, all of that continuously updated and monitored. So there's, of course, still roles for humans to play, more kind of like as architects and managerial and oversight and making quality assurance, like making sure the quality of your entire AI pipeline is good and serving customers well. But it's still very much up in the air. Like, and that's what's creating a lot of the anxiety and fear. It's like, will this job be affected and how? But also there are going to be many more opportunities, but we're just in that kind of like really awkward, messy middle of like trying to figure this all out.
Yeah, that's really an interesting thought. So you've got like AWS and Salesforce coming out with their AI agents that in theory could actually replace people for, the businesses. So I think a lot of people are talking about job displacement. You need to skill up. But why do you think people are still not jumping in? Like, what's the biggest mindset block you see holding people back?
That it's too complicated, that it's like too hard to learn, that you don't have enough time. It's a lot of those typical fears around learning. And the media isn't helping when it portrays AI as like this super scary Terminator-like thing in the end of the world, and artificial general intelligence, and it's smarter than you, and it's PhD level. Like, those are just creating fear. And that's what the news is good at, so that you click and learn more and have, controversial discussions around those topics. But for the everyday person, it's very confusing, and it's just creating anxiety and fear, and it's not very helpful. So unfortunately, that's kind of the media world we live in today, where that's the kind of content that tends to go viral, like very polarizing, fear-driven, anxiety-driven. That it's not helpful to the average person who truly just genuinely wants to learn AI and wants to cut through the noise and just have a better understanding of what it is and how to use it.
For people who have that barrier, what are kind of like, you'd say, the first 3 things that they should be doing in order to like stay competitive?
I think the very first thing is not to frame it in the lens of upskilling or competition, because it creates more pressure on you. Like, you have to learn this or you'll fail. I like to just encourage people to approach it with like playfulness, almost just try talking to it, like see what happens, ask something funny and see what happens, and not try to orient it around like, you have to do this to 10x your productivity. Because I think that also comes from a place of like fear, and I might use that sometimes for TikTok videos because it's a great hook. But when I actually try to encourage people, it's just to try playing with it and to be creative with it and not worry so much about, at least initially, like how you could use it to be productive, et cetera, et cetera. And then I always encourage people when learning anything to find creators that you resonate with. They just speak to you in a certain way, and they give out a lot of valuable content for free. And so like, those are the creators. That's the kind of creator I want to be. Those are the creators that I recommend other people look out for, whether it's me or somebody else you resonate with more. Like, and just digest all of their content. Like, I've been producing for maybe 7 months now, and I have a ton of content. The majority of my followers have probably only seen a sliver of my content. And so find your 2 to 3 favorites, AI creators, AI educators, the ones that really resonate with you. They get you on an emotional level, and like, just go digest all of their content, but approach it from the perspective of playfulness. Like, just be curious. Like, I wonder if I try what Sabrina says in that video, what will happen? Like, and that's it. I wouldn't really go into it with more expectation than that.
And I love that perspective, because I think I live in an echo chamber where it's always talk about, oh my God, like we're falling behind. There's so much tech coming out. And so from my perspective, it's like we need to hurry up. Like we need to innovate. We need to learn fast. But I like the playfulness. But do you think that people should be worried, or people can just...
I think it's so early in AI that, like, let's say you don't start this year, you start next year. I think you'll be fine. Like, it's truly, like, ChatGPT didn't come out very long ago. And in terms of, like, this technology and absorbing it into businesses, it's so early. You're hearing now of, like, lots of businesses that are doing AI POCs, and, like, those aren't necessarily going well because they dove into it with hype but didn't really structure the projects or the pilots to be successful. And now everyone's backing up and being like, oh, okay, let's, like, think about this more. What should our KPIs be? What are the things we should measure? What are the things we need in place to make this AI system effective? Is AI even the right approach for this particular business problem? We're seeing, like, a bit more maturity there on the business/enterprise side. Like, we still have years and years to go to take what AI technology we currently have and, like, actually apply it and embed it in business workflows. There's still, like, many years left. But what does that actually look like? Developing best practices, governance, like all of these things that are associated with a business, enterprise, change management. And so, like, in my opinion, it's still very, very early. And I've been in the AI space since my first AI startup in 2013. It was early then too. And we had investors in our company who had been doing AI since the 80s. And even in 2013, they were like, AI is still early. So again, I don't love the approach of, like, encouraging people to worry. I know it's very clickbaity. I know it's what gets videos to go viral. I understand that. But at the end of the day, like, it's not a healthy perspective to just always be worried and anxious all the time. Because I truly think, like, AI is one of the few technologies in the past, 10, 15 years where not just myself, but many other people as well have played around with it and truly felt like a kid again. Like, it's just like, oh my gosh, so much is, like, possible again. And it's just, like, really exciting and fun. And I want people to experience that first before, like, worrying about all of this other stuff. How does it impact my job? How can I use it to be more productive? How do I teach other people who I work with or my family? How do I teach them about this technology, et cetera, et cetera?
That's amazing. And I can see how you've, like, the things that you talk about, the products that you also talk about are quite playful. You encourage people to experiment and you do it authentically. But now I can see that, people are also taking advantage of how AI has made creating at scale easier than ever, including yourself. But I wonder if there's a tension between this authenticity and hyperscaling with, let's say, avatars. So as someone who scaled so fast, how do you personally navigate this balance?
Yeah, I mean, it's every day. I think about, can I automate this or would it hurt my brand? And when you're a creator, like, your personal brand is everything. Like, it's everything that you've built. If I were to release an avatar video where it was completely automated, I didn't even check the script, and it started saying things that are wrong, inappropriate, offensive, like, that directly damages this asset that I built, which is my personal brand. And so I'm very picky about it. Like, that's why, like, I could go full ahead on avatars. It's like, I have the technology and automations in place, but the reason I'm taking it slowly is to just be more thoughtful around, like, how do I, make sure everybody knows this is my AI avatar? What use cases does it make the most sense for? And so I've been thinking about starting an AI avatar channel just to promote Blotato, where the avatar is only the first 5-10 seconds, like just the hook. And then the rest of the video is something that's already pre-filmed, demoing a certain part of the product. And that way I can scale content creation, but there's guardrails in place. There's limitations in place. So it's not just creating like a 60-second monologue, which could have, things in there with quality issues. So it's something it's honestly, I'm just figuring it out as I go along, and I get feedback from my community too. Like, my very first AI avatar, I was like, oh, you can tell that's not you. It was like way too robotic. It was awkward. And, I didn't film it with good natural lighting and stuff like, okay. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to try again. And then I added, 11 Labs, a professional voice clone. And then I tweaked the HeyGen voice settings. And now it's like pretty realistic. Like, if you stare at it really hard and you have watched like dozens of my videos, okay, you can tell. But if you've never seen any of my content, there's no way you would be able to tell that it's my avatar. And that's scary. But that's the point that we're at. And so I don't know. I'm just trying to be transparent about what I'm showing, what I'm sharing, what I'm learning. And even in my automation guides, like I have a newsletter tutorial where I say, here's how to build this automation. I have a big caveat at the top. It's like, this is not really for beginner creators. I doubt you'll have much success with it. This is really for creators who have figured out what formats work well for them, how to create high quality content at a rapid pace every single week. Like those more intermediate and advanced creators who understand how powerful this can be, but you have to approach it responsibly. Otherwise it could seriously hurt your brand. And when you already have lots of followers, you have a lot more to lose. And so that's why I'm just being thoughtful about it. But it's for sure the future. I mean, I think about how many people come to me and they're like, I want to make TikTok videos, but I don't want to film myself. And for the longest time, there was only one solution, which is just get over it. But now there's actually another solution, which is focus on the research, focus on the copywriting, like the script writing, and then just film an avatar video. And you can disclose that it's an avatar. As long as your content is valuable, it's you, it's your likeness, you're transparent about it. Why, should it matter? And so it's interesting because it's another option for those people who, they don't want to film themselves or they don't want to edit video every time. It is very time consuming relative to other medias.
The next question that I have actually is around this idea of community and again, still about authenticity. You said that, it is true. People are held back by the perfectionism and, they're shy from the camera. Do you think that people will be actually buying from avatars? Will consumers trust avatars?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, I'm not the expert in this, but I listen to a lot of Gary Vee for social media. And one of the big things he talks about is AI avatars in Asia that people are buying, that it's a real thing, that there are probably dozens of AI avatars now that make over 10K per month just in agency, just the typical ways, an influencer would make money, sponsorships, branded content, subscriptions. And that's just, it's already happening. It's just not here on the Western side of the world. And yeah, I mean, first of all, for beginner creators, I always recommend just filming yourself because part of the process is figuring out who you are, what your voice is and who your people are. And that's difficult to shortcut right through automation. It's a lot of just put your reps in, put yourself out there, hit publish every single day. Once you have a clearer understanding of that though, I definitely see a role for different automations or avatars to be able to help with creating pieces of content. For example, one of the reasons why I decided to experiment with avatars more heavily and more seriously is I saw on LinkedIn, I forget his last name, Rowan from The Rundown. So He has a AI avatar channel on Instagram that's been doing well. And the format is breaking AI news, which I think is a great format for avatars because people just care about the news, right? So if you have something dynamic, at the top half of your video, that's the news and it's just your AI avatar saying the news, I don't really care if it's your avatar. I just want to know what the news is and I want it presented in an educational but entertaining way. I value that more than the personal brand and many people do as well. So maybe it won't appeal to everyone, but it'll appeal to the people who are just I want the best breaking news delivered in a really entertaining way. And it's that channel, right? So people are having success with it. I mean, it's just not big here yet, but you can see if viewers out there have seen some of my latest avatar videos, they're very realistic and they could be even better. If I upload, I record it on my iPhone. I don't even use professional recording equipment, right? So if I were to use a professional camera, professional microphone, setup and everything, it would be even better. But I didn't even use all those things. And I'm telling you, my current avatar, a new follower would not be able to tell that it's an avatar. It's just the technology is getting there very rapidly. So.
No, absolutely. I've seen some videos. I think it was in the Philippines or somewhere in Southeast Asia where they were doing for weather. They had avatars to report the weather and host sports events. Yeah. So you've lived, I see your photos skiing and you're always hiking. And I feel like you've always lived a sense of freedom and spontaneity. Yet you're also building systems around AI to empower others. How do you balance living in the moment with the focus needed to create something meaningful and lasting?
That's a good question. Honestly, the biggest thing that helped me was moving out of the city. Because I think when you're in Silicon Valley, and by the way, I love Silicon Valley. Like, it's like I truly feel like my heart belongs there. The entrepreneurial spirit, paying it forward, the ambitious people that I was always around. It is amazing. But on the other hand, when it comes to kind of like enjoying life, it's necessarily the place optimized for it. So literally physically moving outside of the city helped me. It's like everyone around me were like, oh, where are we going to go hiking today? Like, that's the topic of conversation around here. It's not AI. It's like, oh, it snowed. Let's go skiing. It's like, oh, do you ski or do you snowboard? Oh, where do you ski? Like, those are the things that start conversations around here. And so it's just a completely different culture. I personally love it here. Like, all my friends who visited from San Francisco love it here as well. The real estate prices also awesome. You're next to ski resorts. So, I don't know. It's like, I bring it up first because it's probably been the biggest thing that's helped me. Like, physically removing myself from a tech bubble has really opened my eyes to a different way of living where you can work really hard, but also enjoy nature, which is like what recharges me. So like hiking, skiing, all of that good stuff.
And so that brings me to my last question. So historically, since the Industrial Revolution, I feel like humans have felt that sense of fulfillment, or like felt like their life's good if they were smart, like they have high IQ, or they were very productive or making a lot of money. Now that, there's this thing that could get smarter than us and produce more than us with robots, what do you think will it mean to be human in the time of AI?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. I think about it a lot because prior to creating content, like, I also felt very content, but not quite fulfilled. And I didn't know why, right? Like, I could be very productive. I had all of these skills. I had already accomplished a lot in my life, but like something was missing and I didn't know what it was. When I started creating content, I realized like what was missing for me that was very emotionally fulfilling was community, like literally connecting with other people and having an impact on their lives, supporting other people, and then having that reciprocated as well. People helping me, people talking to me. And that's the part that, I don't know, it's hard to imagine AI replicating that, like that sense of community that is very, very deeply fulfilling. And so I still love AI to do all of my tasks, help me automate this and that. But why am I doing all of it? It's to serve other people. It's for that sense of community, to give back, to pay it forward, to help other people succeed, change their careers, realize what's possible, realize their potential. Like, those are the things motivating me personally. The way I think of it is I'm harnessing or architecting these AI systems in purpose of that larger goal. So that's kind of how I view it personally. That's my 2 cents.
Are we still in control, or are we just watching as the rules of intelligence, power, and creativity are rewritten in real time? One thing is clear: the world isn't slowing down. AI is evolving faster than policy, faster than ethics, faster than most of us can even understand. And whether we like it or not, we are all part of this experiment. So here's the real question: are you shaping the future, or is the future shaping you? This isn't just a podcast. If you're a builder, a skeptic, a thinker, or just someone who refuses to be left behind, subscribe today, because the game has already started. And if you're not in the conversation, you're already behind. See you next time on The Human and the Machine.